With all this talk about plans from NASA and SpaceX for Mars mission, it is enough to make anyone want to jet off to the red planet right away. Fortunately, some lucky people will get the chance to do a Mars-like mission in European caves. While this isn't a real Martian adventure, it is something that astronauts do to get ready for space. So hey, maybe you can use it to bolster your own resume in the coming years. So stay tuned, cause this is Rebound Box. It's called the Life on Mars Experience, and it's truly the location that is almost as remote as possible without leaving the Earth. Tripadvisor Experiences, for a fee of roughly $6,800 will host Martian aspirants in Ares station located at a remote point in Spain. To make sure you are fully okay before and during the mission, each team member will be supported by a medical team, and the entire crew will undergo 3 days of training, including emergency plans in case something bad happens on site. This is true astronaut stuff, since the European Space Agency puts its astronauts through similar isolation experience as part of the CAVES program on the Italian island of Sardinia. But on a serious note, why isolation? Working in isolated circumstances ahead of a space flight is crucial for new astronauts. That's because the ride into space is expensive and it's very difficult to come home even if you are in Earth orbit. So everyone wants to make sure that crew members can work together during the long 6 months or so that a typical person spends on the International Space Station. At first blush, space flight sounds like the most amazing experience ever. You ride on a rocket, there's a lovely view out of the window, but stretch out of the experience a long time and things can start to feel monotonous. For one thing, spacewalk's only an occasional thing due to safety concerns, so astronauts stay co-opted up in the space station for most of their time. Everyone works long days, sometimes scheduled down to 5-minute increments. Then there's the isolation aspect. Working in a lab that's so distant from family and friends, all of this must be considered and practiced ahead of the mission. There are projects around the world devoted to searching how people behave in isolated conditions, and in many of them, astronauts themselves participate. A short list of the better known ones include the Institute of Biomedical Problems in Moscow, where a crew once simulated a 500-day Martian trip, the Mars Society's Mars Desert Research Station in Utah, where crews typically from universities spend about 2 weeks at a time, the Human Exploration Research Analog at NASA in Houston, where astronauts live in a small facility for days or weeks on end, and the underwater NASA Extreme Environment Mission Operation (NEMO) in the Aquarius habitat in Florida, which commonly hosts astronaut crews with so many simulated missions. Here's hoping we put them on the ultimate test on Mars soon. Maybe these all research will not go in vain in near future, because we are closer than ever to put our first leap on the red planet. And yes, you can experience a chunk of similar stuff in Spain too. So until the next amazing video, keep learning and keep rebounding.